Hey, it's Drew Bennett from Big Damn Kid, and it is January 25th, which means it is the 25th issue of Transformers. And this one, Megatron's Last Stand, features the Predacons and Predaking. They're attacking Megatron. And so, the issue starts, it's actually called Gone But Not Forgotten. This issue starts out with the military heading towards the Decepticon base. So there's a large contingent of the military heading towards the Decepticon base because that's it. It's time to take out the Decepticons. We actually have Walter Barnett there, who's part of III, which is Information and Intelligence Institute. It's a top secret U.S. government agency. And this time, they are letting the military actually attack the Decepticons because what they're saying is the robots in that pit must be destroyed. That's what Barnett is saying. What prompted this? I'm not sure. It could have been the events of the last issue, or it could have been something else, which I'll get to in a moment. Okay, so we go to the Decepticon base, and at the Decepticon base, Shockwave and Soundwave are sending a hyperspace communication to Cybertron. Okay, they're letting Cybertron know that they have the Hyrothemermocline, which is the device that Megatron and the Combaticons got last issue. They got that from that facility that had the kid Ethan Zachary, had him play a video game. Optimus Prime is now dead. That big thing that happened in last issue. Okay, so they're sending a communication to Cybertron to let them know the coordinates where they're going to go. They're actually heading to a small unnamed island off of Florida because there they can use the ocean currents for that limitless energy, and they're going to pipe that energy to Cybertron. So that's something that they're doing. But in this final panel on that page there, right there, you have Shockwave and Soundwave talking that to alert Cobra. Yeah, they're in league with Cobra. This is the time when the Transformers crossed over with G.I. Joe. And so this is happening simultaneously. So I pulled out my G.I. Joe vs. Transformers comics. Okay? And G.I. Joe vs. Transformers number 1 was in January of 1987. So at the same time that the issue with Optimus Prime getting killed, this is the same time where this issue happened here with G.I. Joe versus Transformers. So I'm going to have to read that and decide whether or not we're going to jump over to this, or am I going to do this one tomorrow and put these in the same timeline, same context. I think I should, because then you'll have the same context of what's going on here. And now I haven't read these yet reread them. I read them as a kid, but I haven't reread them yet to see exactly what's going on between this and the Transformers comic, which I will get back to right now. Okay, so jump back into this, and Laserbeak comes in, tells Soundwave and Shockwave that the military is there because instead of him being able to talk anymore, now he just says squawk squawk. Alright, so then they move on to Megatron, who has this giant, dad chair of cars. And the poses they put Megatron in. So Megatron is depressed. He's sitting there and he's all depressed because, he's contemplating what just occurred between him and Optimus Prime. And his only concern right now is of Optimus Prime. He doesn't care that the military's attacking. He doesn't care that they have to bring the Hyrothemermocline to Florida and work with Cobra. He doesn't care about any of this. The only concern he has is with Optimus Prime. And even though Optimus Prime is dead, all he can think about is Optimus Prime. And so he's thinking back. We get a whole page going all the way back through what occurred in the last issue. And the one part that they get to is that the thing that Megatron did not see is that Ethan Zachary has a backup of Optimus Prime's personality on a floppy disk. On a floppy disk. 5¼ floppy disk. Kills me. So he's there, and Brawl comes up, and says to him that Optimus Prime died in the lab, and Megatron loses his mind. He just goes crazy and attacks Brawl, and then just keeps going on and squeezing him and squeezing him and squeezing until he just busts his face wide open, throws him into a wall. He is off the rails. Megatron is out of control. He starts lashing out at everyone about what's going on here. And, he challenges Shockwave. Shockwave, are you prepared to fight me right now? To become the commander? And this time you'll pay with your miserable life. And, Shockwave says, Commander, I only wish to point out that you raised an intriguing question. Since Optimus Prime died as a result of a game that simulated your characters, couldn't his death have been computer simulated as well? And so Megatron thinks for a second, and Optimus Prime lives, and then he flips out and starts shooting things again. I mean, he is insanely unstable. And again, more and more, Shockwave is the better commander, but Megatron is nuts. So, Shockwave and Soundwave, they're saying, well, let's finish the final communication for the transport, Hyrothemermocline transport, and Shockwave says, well, I gotta open that Cybertron hyperspace link, communication link again. He has another message to deliver. Meanwhile, Megatron is just flipping out, and he's destroying their base, destroy everything, leave nothing, and the army is on the other side about to attack, and they're getting bombarded by the attack that Megatron is having on his own base, so much so that they realize they need more troops, they can't attack, and this is just Megatron doing this. And they take off. The military, that's it, they break off their attack and they take off. Megatron calls all of his Decepticons together to roll out to Florida. He hops in, and they says he hops in drag strip. That's not drag strip. That's dead end with the wrong color. Okay, so he's not in drag strip. Drag strip is a dragster. It's a race car. That's just a sports car. That's dead end. That's the wrong guy. Somebody colored it wrong, and another mistake there. But you only really find these the more you read them over and over again. Okay, so Shockwave then calls Cybertron. And he calls Cybertron and he sends a message to Cybertron saying that he gets communication with a character named Razorclaw. Now, Razorclaw is the leader of the Predacons, and the Predacons together form Predaking. And so Razorclaw is a lion, and Shockwave sends him out this message saying, he sends a message, it's recorded on Laserdisc, and it has a special assignment with him. So they're going to go and hunt down Megatron. The Predacons are going to hunt down Megatron when they come to Earth via the space bridge. And so Shockwave then takes the Hyrothemermocline to Florida. He rides it off like, what's his name in Doctor Strangelove, where he's, riding the warhead. He's riding the Hyrothemermocline, powering it with his leg rockets, and flying it to Florida. One way to do it. So the Decepticons, a couple days later, they're on US 101, they're near the Florida Keys, and they're driving along. And as they're driving along, Megatron sees a truck coming the other way, and the truck looks very familiar, almost exactly like Optimus Prime. And he jumps out of the car. He has dead end pull over, because now he's in dead end. Now the color's right. Now it's the right guy. He's there on the dash, and he sees what looks like Optimus Prime. He jumps out and he destroys the vehicle. Right there. So he completely destroys the vehicle. It's only carrying oranges. I mean, they're in Florida. It's only carrying oranges, and again, more and more unstable. And Dead End tells him, Optimus Prime, he's already dead. And I'm surprised that Megatron didn't transform and kill him right then and there, because that's the way he's going in this. So the Predacons now are talking together. They're on Cybertron. They're ready to get onto the space bridge and come across to Earth. And Razorclaw is telling the Predacons that they're after. They had to change their appearance. They had to modify their bodies so that they would look more for the Earth. And so now they're going over and they're going to fight. So the Predacons there, we have Headstrong, Rampage, Tantrum, Divebomb, and Razorclaw. There's 5 of them. They were larger characters. They were like, I would say they were like deluxe size now. Put them all together and they made a really large combiner named Predaking. I never had that one. My cousin had it, and I always loved to play it whenever I went to his house. It was really cool. They were red and orange and yellow, and they were big, and Predaking was huge. So they come across to Earth. They're in their animal forms. Okay, so we got a bull, a lion, a rhinoceros, I think it's a panther, and an eagle. So these are all the Predacons. Then Shockwave is there. He explains to them what their overall plan is, and it confirms that yes, this is what you're going to be doing. The Predacons also built special, a special switch so that they could hide their Decepticon symbol and show an Autobot symbol instead, so that Megatron is going to think that Autobots are attacking him. So Megatron then has Vortex take Dead End over to the island, and he's going to wait there. He's going to wait and go over next. But the Predacons show up. They start attacking Megatron, and they're giving him a good, they smashed up his face. They did some damage to him. So they're attacking him pretty good. Although he's Megatron, so he is quite powerful and quite strong, and he goes back at him. He takes the fight to them, even smashing Razorclaw, and fighting them, and he's overpowering them and winning against them. But yeah, check out the his face get all smashed up, and Predacons. He overwhelms them. Okay, and so the Decepticons over on the island now have the space bridge appearing, and they're using the Hyrothemermocline to pump energon through the space bridge back to Cybertron. I guess that's one way to do it. They're wondering why... I'm sorry. And so at this point, Vortex says, do I have to go, should I go back and get Megatron? And Shockwave says, no, I'll go. Perhaps Megatron's in trouble. And so Megatron is there. He's fighting the Predacons, and he's winning. And so blasts the Predacons, and then the Predacons form Predaking. 80 feet tall. Guy is huge. And so Predaking... it starts attacking Megatron, and Megatron is still winning. He's still beating Predaking. So he, overhead, Shockwave sees him and says, Megatron says, Shockwave, go away. I will fight my own battles. Whether they're with humans or robots, I will always fight my own battles. So I think Megatron over in this issue is feeling like he doesn't feel a sense of satisfaction at Optimus Prime dying because he didn't die by his hands, and them being rivals for so many years, being mortal enemies for so many years, having Optimus Prime killed but not him having anything to do with it is really causing him to just snap, break his mind. And Shockwave sees this, and he also sees what is the possibility, and he wants to stop Megatron, but at the same time, he wants Megatron to realize what exactly happened here. And so in their realization of what happened, Shockwave comes clean and says that he sent the Predacons after him. That he did all this, he orchestrated all of this to let him know that, you know, I did not merely give orders. I recorded major portions of my personality onto the disc. I controlled the Predacons, and I was with them as much as I am with you now. So he's explaining that part of his personality was recorded on that laser disc, controlling the Predacons to attack Megatron. Part of his personality was on the laser disc. Megatron starting to dawn on him, his personality recorded, and you know what? And it says, "Your data." Megatron says to him, "You data spouting idiot! Even as you face oblivion, you can't help but detail your trivial technological achievements. Well, in moments, that laser disc copy of your personality would be all that's left of you. Left of you." And Megatron trails off, and a thought occurs to him. You know, while Megatron has no proof of what happened, he understands that possibly that personality of Optimus Prime is still there on that disc. And so he yells out, "Optimus Prime, he lives, he's alive," and he just flips out, and he's like, "Megatron's too clever. Megatron will go, well, no one can ever follow him. Optimus Prime will never fall." And so he blows up the space bridge. He just blows up the space bridge and ends off into oblivion. Whether he went to Earth or whether he went to Cybertron or somewhere else, he's just blown up the space bridge being on it. So he could be anywhere in the universe, because the space bridge could have malfunctioned, gone here or there, anywhere. Completely unstable. Shockwave is now going to be in control of the Decepticons on Earth, which makes a lot of sense. We're not sure if the space bridge is going to come back, or if it's been destroyed, whether they're going to rebuild it on Cybertron or what. But some things from this issue. I'm glad that they explained where the Predacons came from. The Combaticons and Protectobots, never explained. That still bothers me from last issue. The spiral into madness of Megatron is so clear in this. And we see that, he's just crazy. He's so obsessed with beating Optimus Prime that the death of Optimus Prime, not by his hands, has caused him just completely to snap. And he's not a good leader. He never was. And I want to see what's happening here with the G.I. Joe and Cobra at this time, whether they're... So I'm going to have to read the next 8 issues all together, kind of get my head around what's happening, see if it's the continuity is good between the two or not, but we'll see. So maybe tomorrow it'll be Transformers vs. G.I. Joe, or actually G.I. Joe vs. Transformers, or maybe it's going to be another Transformers. I don't know. Anyway, this is Drew Bennett from Big Damn Kid. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as Big Damn Kid. You can find me on BigDamnKid.com, where I do a full write-up of all of the issues. And you can find me here because I do videos every day. And please subscribe. I'd love it if you subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Did you enjoy this when you were a kid? Should I go with the G.I. Joe vs. Transformers next? Or should I continue on with Transformers and then go back to that? You let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching.